Grant from Angling Authority. I'm at the IMA REINS booth. I'm with Paul Mueller and Mike Murphy, and we're talking about some new stuff from IMA.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the IMA Core Series. You know, IMA here recently has gained volume discount with their factories, and the price is lower.
Yep.
You know, that's a big thing. So now you're looking at $9.99 retail, where it was at $15.99. So with that, they've continued to grow their Core Series. These are the best sellers to new colors and new sizes. And so that's what we have here. I'll let you show you that one there.
Yeah, you know, we've really stepped up the game this year, and especially in the topwater area. We've got a few new topwater baits out. The first one being the Little Stick 135. This is a smaller version of the original Big Stick. And we really, both me and Michael are excited. He's catching big largemouth on it.
That's the original size right there.
Back home, I'm catching big smallmouth on it. And man, I'll tell you what, one good thing about this bait is when you're twitching that bait, it can do a 180 side to side, and it throws a lot of water. So I'm able to call fish at even deep water and come up for that bait. This is a great bait, kind of like a pencil popper with a twist, and just a miniature version. But there's a couple more from the IMA series. Let Michael talk to you about that.
Well, you can talk about this too. This is this is the original skimmer, and this is one of my favorites. We have a bigger size. Yeah,
the bigger size, and you know, it's going to sit in the water very similar to the regular skimmer. The difference is a little bit wider, but this is a bait that's designed, when it sits in the water, it's about like this. It's designed to fish it really fast. Rod tip up. They designed it in Japan with a technique where you're actually twitching that bait side to side with the rod tip up fast. In a situation sometimes when you're fishing clear water and you want a really fast side to side, the cool thing about this bait when it comes through the water is it's erratic each time. It's not a steady side to side deal. So it's very erratic, something that smallmouth really like, and schooling largemouth as well.
Well, here's another new size we have in the Hellips. This is the original smaller size. And this has been a great seller, and we come out with a bigger size. A lot of guys like it. You know, you get a limit, trying to upgrade, or just sometimes you just want a bigger size. You get down in the south, overhanging trees and stuff like that. You got bigger gills. That's what you want.
That Bubba Shad, I'm really excited about that. They have a few different sizes. They got a 4-inch, they got a 5-inch, and a 7-inch.
Okay.
The Bad Bubba Shad is basically it's an AA's swim bait, and this is an old school style. But what they've done is they've beefed it up. And it's really cool because you know, you have sizes for any territory in the country. You have your 4-inch size for your northern and your smallmouth water. Your 5-inch is a standard, and then you got this big 7-inch size that's going to be excellent on the TVA reservoirs such as Gunnersville and Kentucky Lake. The deal with these baits, when you put a jig head, and especially the heavier jig head you put in front of them, it causes that bait to roll. It has a side-to-side rolling action, which is different than most swim baits on the market. Most swim baits have just a tail kick. You know, and I think on, you know, the TVA lakes especially, they get so conditioned to seeing big swim baits that do the same thing. This is a bait that you're going to be able to go behind people and put more fish in the boat. So the Bad Bubba Shad's going to be a great striper bait, but also a good TVA bait when they're going after you know, big gizzard shad, and the smaller size, it's awesome. The 5-inch, that's a good standard size. The 4-inch, I'm probably more excited about than anything, being from Connecticut and fishing for smallmouth. You know, the 4-inch is perfect size, you know, chasing after those smaller bait fish, the alewives, so on and so forth. I do a lot of slow rolling swim baits, and I'm really excited to try out the AA
shad. The original one continues to be a good seller, and you know, a lot of the customers just wanted something thicker. You know, you'd be amazed that when you're trying to upgrade, just thickening the bait, not even doing the length. You know, just going a thicker bait. It just displaces more water, especially when you get up north. You like the musky fish a lot. That one right there, pike and musky,
and even walleye.
Right, you get, you know, I think
even the 5-inch on the walleye.
I throw in, you know, I fish some. I'll show my roots a little bit. I fish some musky and pike. I throw that J-Mac jig you see out there. You know, big swim jig. You know, that right there is going to catch a lot of water. You know, something you really need to look at for a trailer. It's real price effective. You know, this is just a stripped down version. You know, a lot of people put eyes and stuff, and that increases the price. But these right here, you know, you can get a pack of these for under $5.
Even on a chatterbait, you know, I'm excited to see what this looks like on the chatterbait, but I've seen it on the jig head, and I'm really excited to throw these back up north.
Well, let's show them the range stuff down here.
Yeah. So we have a few different things. The first thing being the punch shot. Michael, you do a lot more punching down south. We do our share of punching in the north as well. But the punch shot, it's pretty unique. It comes in a few different sizes, as you can see. designed for flipping, but not just flipping in mind. Michael, tell us a little bit more about that.
Right, this is the same great Reins weight that you see. What sets us apart is we disclose, first of all, 100% what goes in our weights. It's 95% tungsten, 5% nickel. Those are two of the most densest out there. You know, this is a scientific fact. Ours is the smallest. A lot of people say 95 and 97. They won't disclose what the other 5% is. It's usually tin or aluminum or even lead in some cases. So they kind of sneak some stuff in there because you got to cut tungsten with something or it'll be too brittle. So that's our weight. You know, it's the highest quality. It's painted. It's not powder coated. A lot of people will powder coat them to get a color. Powder coat will chip. You know, and when it chips, it makes a razor. They don't realize it, but they're pulling into a rock or something. All of a sudden, it just breaks your line, or they get a fish, it'll break your line. A lot of times, it's because of the actual chipping of the powder coat. And there are some people that paint them now, but we also have an insert. A lot of people don't have the insert, and you'll get burrs. I mean, tungsten is like the hardest metal out there. And when you make this, you get edges on not just the inside but the outside, and it's hard sometimes to get, you know, get all the burrs out. So to completely ensure that, you put an insert in there. What's great about this is we have this bevel here, but you see this normal size. This is like, I would say, what do you say? That's like a quarter inch. You know, that's like a normal quarter-ounce size. And with this added part, it weighs 3/8. You know, so this right here, it's a big punch in a small package, so it's more weight, but even smaller than what they normally get to have something bulky to get through, to get bigger fish or displace more water. You get a little off-color water, more tannic water when you're punching. Something like this. We tied this up. They come all unskirted, but you can tie them up how you like. Put your favorite little critter on there, or you can even there's the punching setup there. Or you can even use it as a swim jig. You know, a swim jig, you know, it's kind of the new deal where you get bit, a fish jumps, it can throw your bait, you know, even with a jig. But with this, it takes away all the leverage. So you throw in a swim bait, something like that. That's why we offer the smaller sizes. You know, this, I'm going to show you something. This is a ring crawl in here, and you see that a second ago. I'm going to tell this guy about it. This is a guy that made this thing famous with the Bass Nation, winning this deal last year.
Yeah, you know, the Reins ring crawl for me, I'm pretty partial to it. The first Bassmaster Classic I made on Lake Dardanelle at the National Championship was on a 3-inch ring crawl, and I was actually punching that bait with a 1.2-ounce Reins tungsten weight, and I was punching it through the heaviest of cover. The fish got really lethargic. We had a cold front come in, and they got really tight to cover, and I was able to take that little Reins ring crawl. And the thing with the ring crawl, it's such a good bait, and we wanted to make a larger profile, so we got the same action into a 4-inch size, so you can put a number 5-aught or even 6-aught straight shank flipping hook in it. You can match it with that Reins Punchshot rig, and you have a really good compact, bigger profile, you know, for your lakes down in Florida. Bigger bass, bigger profile, bigger hook, bigger line, you know. And the thing with the ring crawl too is the thing that I use it for more than anything is on the back of a jig. The material, just like all the other Reins plastic, floats, so when you put this on the back of the jig, the craws actually stick up like a crawfish in the defensive position, and it actually makes a really good bed bait just on the jig head alone. So I'm excited about the 4-inch ring crawl. I think it's going to be an excellent addition to the Reins lineup. There's one more bait that we have. It's a 7-inch bubbling shaker. And we've had the 3 and the 4 and the 5-inch now, you know, drop shotting, Texas rig drop shot on the 5-inch, and also a shaky head. But now we have that 7-inch, you know, a little bit larger profile. You know, we wanted this for the guys fishing ledges with a Texas rig drop shot on brush piles, but also a little bit larger worm for a shaky head. And one of the new techniques, and the hottest techniques on the market, is actually called an EcoRig, where you're taking a Reins tungsten nail sinker, which we do offer a nail sinker in larger sizes than the competitors. We have it all the way up to 3/16. And you know, this technique is one of those techniques when I first found out about it, I was kind of narrow-minded. I thought you could only fish it in shallow water. Well, you can actually take a 3/16 nail weight from Reins, and you can put that in this bait. You're going to put an O-ring on this bait, and you're going to put a mosquito-style hook or an octopus-style hook, and you're going to wacky rig it. So it's kind of the combination of a shaky head and a wacky rig all in one. It's a deadly technique. There's been some guys that have been doing it out west for a while, and they've kind of, we found a couple worms for it. You know, one of the worms that they've actually designed for that technique is the Swamp Mover Magnum as well. So we have two different worms. And Michael, talk about the differences in the worms. We got the Swamp Mover Magnum, which is a little bit bulkier worm. It's a little bit harder plastic. And then you have the 7-inch bubbling shaker. Going back to that, there's an application for a few different things that I think Michael can.
Right, and he touched on this. This is like a cross between a drop shot, a wacky rig, a shaky head, all rolled into one. So instead of having 3 rods laid on your deck, you really only need 1 now.
Right.
You know, but you got 2 different worms you can fish. This is a lot more pliable. You know, especially warmer conditions. When it gets a little colder, or even if you get around bigger fish, you want something bulkier. But this is a little bit stiffer of a worm, to where it kind of a lot more rigidity. So when you're fishing colder water or such, and I like to rig it where the flat side's forward because it catches more water, gives it more action. You know, and you touched on the nail seekers. The thing about it too, the reason you want to use tungsten, and guys go, oh, I can use lead. Well, the reason we use tungsten is because it's so much smaller. If I was to take, you know, even an 1/8 ounce, that nail weight would have to be like this long. Yeah. Or you do side by side, well, they're just going to fall out, or it's going to change the action, and the worm's going to want to lay down. That's not what you want. That's why you want to use the tungsten. And one thing you're getting into, especially in the Northeast, you're getting into these lead bands, to where when you're using smaller sizes, if they caught you fishing small tungsten, less than a 1/2 ounce, you can get in big trouble. And you know, that brings us to our drop shot weights. You know, you see our drop shot weights, we're actually making a change because of the band to have the all eye ties to all of our sizes. You see them in the clips here, and that's what, you know, kind of was a predecessor of this. But now you have the line tie, because with lead, it was okay. You get hung up, you pull it loose. Tungsten, that's like solid gold there. You don't want to be losing that, but you still want to abide by the law. And you know, they're trying to get the lead where it needs to be. And you know, it's a problem. You're getting some ducks and stuff that's showing up with lead in their system. You don't want that. So, you know, but you don't want to be throwing money in the water either. But it still helps you to keep out there drop shotting, but also throwing the nail seekers. And, you know, definitely check out Reins in these places that you can't fish lead. That's what we're really targeting, and we're taking care of those guys.
Thanks, guys. That's some really good information.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Grant.
Just noticed, these are all very natural colors. Some other manufacturers, they'll create stuff that is not natural at all. And I'm just noticing here, you got all natural shades. Is that by design, or is that because it's like JDM?
Oh, can you turn that on there, boss? I need that back on. We're filming. We're filming. Get back on.
I'm just curious about that.
Yeah.
Was the color selection something that was done on purpose, or is it just, or is that something conscious?
So to answer that is Reins, you know, up until a couple years ago, they had a bunch of colors, and so we streamlined it. The colors that sold, one, and then bringing on staff, revamping things, and moving forward for the U.S. markets, because a lot of these were Japanese. Yeah. They're good sellers in Japan. Yeah. So, you know, they've tested them over here, but a lot of this stuff didn't have application in the U.S. Some stuff did, like the BB Crawl. That's one of the best-selling colors out here. But listening to our pro staff, listening to what they throw, this is all pro angler approved. These are what guys are catching fish on. So you want to fish what works.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, at the end of the day, you can get overwhelmed with colors. We have colors that they're basically going to cover a wide variety of, from clear water to dirty water. And in a nutshell, keep it simple. You know, the main deal with getting bit a lot of times, unless you're drop shotting, and that's why you have a little bit more natural colors in the bubbling shaker worm. But as far as the pitching baits, all our plastics, the main deal with getting bit is the action. The action, how the bait is, the profile of the bait, you know, and you'll see these certain designs that you haven't seen. These are not a knockoff, these are original designs. Yeah. And that's one thing that's cool about Icast every year. We get to see something that they're working on that's going to help us catch fish. I've made 2 Bassmaster Classics and done well in 2 Bassmaster Classics, all on Reins plastic and tungsten, so it's been pretty cool.
And one thing too is the scent. That's one thing we haven't talked about.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Is this scent has been used in other companies in the past, and it over time has become diluted. because of the price point. We're about catching fish, number one, regardless of price point. And we're not going to lie, our price point's a little bit higher, but that's for a reason, because we maintain the purity of the scent and the purity of the quality. And so you really do get what you pay for, and it does catch more fish. You know, proof of that in the results when you use this stuff.
Oh, that's good information. Huh. Okay. That's my only question is the color selection.
Sure.
I noticed it was like, it's all naturals. Like, this looks like it's going to be
very
really
good. I mean, when the crawfish have that reddish to them, that reddish brown to them in the spring, that's a great color, the scuppernong color. Yeah.
So you're throwing this in the spring, maybe something, what
yeah,
do you throw
you know,
in the
your
fall?
green pumpkins and your watermelons, your green pumpkin, blue flake is really good for me in the Northeast in the spring. I mean, sometimes black can be good. I mean, I'm going to use black usually in dirtier water applications. So being that I'm from the Northeast, I'm fishing more of the natural green hues. In the summertime, I really like certain colors, especially in the bubbling shaker, like that purple weenie. You know, it's a very translucent color. Morning Dawn being another one, and the new color this year, the Margarita Mutilator. Those are all really good. They're kind of off-the-wall colors, but they're great colors, and you'll catch them anywhere in the country with them.
Do you know who invented that name, Margarita Mutilator?
We don't know.
That's a really cool name.
We didn't know.
Well, that's what they know it by. Yeah.
Yeah, but people
That's really
recognize it though. There's no doubt.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I gotta run.
All right.
Thank you, bud.
All right, Murphy.